Welcome to The Pink Ladies.
Whoa.
I'm Kevin James Doyle.
And I'm Katie Sieber.
And there's a thing called pirate radio. Have you ever heard of pirate radio?
I have.
Yeah, this is pirate radio. We've seized the controls.
I feel great.
From everyone. We're at sea. We're at musical sea.
I love it.
What is it? We're the Pirates of Penzance.
It's a true musical theater moment for us.
Now, Katie and I were talking. We were just saying off mic how, listen, I don't know if you're like, I don't remember Grease being that good or whatever. It's cheesy. If you go back and watch it, it holds up even better than I thought it would.
It really does. I mean, you dared to say that you thought by the end of it, Cory would have changed his mind.
I think that if Cory watched this, he'd be like, it was better than I thought it would have been.
Cory, if you're listening and you're still in Italy, just take a night off from your Italian adventures.
Yeah.
Watch Grease.
Cory, listen, hey, please give us 5 stars.
Come on, Cory.
Subscribe to the Patreon. I know you're in Italy, but you're going to need something for that flight back. And may I recommend
Grease.
The 1979 hit film, Grease. Grease is the word. So basically, here's where we're at. We are at Hopelessly Devoted to You.
We just finished.
Beauty School Dropout. No, we didn't talk about this. Who's the guy that sings Beauty School Dropout? Wasn't he famous?
He was. I'll never remember his name. But I feel like he was like a heartthrob.
Let's see. Danny, Coach Calhoun.
Which is interesting because was he a heartthrob from the 50s?
Interesting.
But then it was in the 70s.
Where is it? Doris Day, Elvis Presley. What the heck? Okay. Hopelessly, Grease Lightning, La Bamba. Whole lot of shaking going on. Beauty School Dropout. Teen Angel. What is this? Okay, here. Sorry. Warren Casey. It was written by Warren Casey. Oh, Frankie Avalon.
Oh.
So Frankie Avalon was, he sang songs such as Venus and Why in 1959. He had 31 charting U.S. Billboard singles from 1958 to 1962. Wow. And he's still alive.
Wow.
82. Avalon is well known for his role in Grease as Beauty School Dropout, played by Didi Khan. Okay, so they're doing like a throwback guy.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, no offense to Frankie Avalon. I thought the guy was more famous though.
I did too. But maybe if we'd been in the 50s,
I think
we would have felt excited.
I think like it was a big deal.
It was
at the time.
Deal. It had to have been.
I think what happened though, it's a classic story. They had it on because they're like, this will be a big deal. But then Grease became such a big deal.
The people were like,
that outshined his whole thing. And now he walks around and they're like, you're from Grease. And he's like, are you serious? I sang Venus and Why, 1958. I had 31 chart topping singles. We're like, okay, dude, you're also in Grease, which is really cool. Yeah. So right now, Danny and Sandy are doing great.
They're doing great. Sandy's nervous about the dance, but it's going to be okay.
She's nervous about the dance. She's probably a good student. I feel like she could make some extra money by like tutoring all the other gang members.
Oh.
Do you know what's funny is when I was in high school or middle school, I was accused of being in a gang.
What?
We had a dare officer, Officer Mike.
Oh my gosh.
And we did pick on other people. It was very bad. It was not cool. I talk about it in a show. I'm very remorseful of my time making fun of people.
I think I've heard you talk about this. But not that you were in a gang.
Well, the dare officer was like, you guys are acting like a gang. And it's like, yeah, I think he is referring to like 1950s gangs where you just all hang out together.
I think he was a big fan of Grease.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a fan of Grease. And what are the gangs in West Side Story? They were big.
The Sharks and the Jets.
Sharks and the Jets. Yeah, but they were like
a bit more violent.
They were a real gang.
They were real gangs.
Yeah,
especially in the new version, you kind of really feel.
Yeah, they have knives.
Territories.
Yeah, they have like, you don't mess with this. This gang is just like a cool gang.
Hang out.
Yeah, they just hang out.
So funny that he said. I mean, he maybe hadn't had a lot of experience with gangs.
I think he was like, I don't know. He wished that Dare was going to be more exciting. They're like, do you want to be a drug police officer? And he's like, yes. And then they're like, cool, go to this middle school and say, don't do drugs. And he's like, fuck.
Didn't Dare not work?
No, it didn't really work because I have done a lot of drugs.
I meant in general, but thanks for sharing that it didn't work.
Yeah.
I feel like I see a lot of people wearing Dare t-shirts. And I know they're wearing them.
I haven't done a lot of drugs. But what are they telling you not to do? I have no idea. I think just drugs. Yeah. I mean, I guess I would not be the shining example of Dare being a success story.
But I don't think they're like, it's fine to do coke, don't do meth.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's their
Yeah. That's what I'm like.
But I think
that's my message. Listen, don't do meth, but let's do some.
Fine.
Yeah. I feel like isn't meth kind of just like, I mean, yeah, these guys are just smoking inside. They're not doing any, but this is what I was going to say last time is you can see that like the path that they're on, these people are not going to be doing great at 30.
Well, they're peaked. They've peaked.
This is their peak. This is their peak time.
And we all went to school with people like that.
Yeah. They look good. They're great singers. They're great dancers. And then all of a sudden,
their musical numbers are always on point.
They're always on point.
Their backup dancers always know the choreography.
Yes, they don't skip a beat. They know how to go right into just like a fun hangout into, bam, look at the camera, bam. It's a systematic.
Hydromatic.
Wait, what? That's the third one. Wait, it's
systematic. Is it ultramatic?
Ultramatic. Hydromatic.
Why it's greasy like
Ding 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 ding.
I also was like, man, his voice is low.
Yeah, it's low.
I don't think I remembered that.
Yeah. And it's low and it's high at the end when he says,
well, that's true.
When he does the point up. This summer night.
Oh gosh,
tell me more. Tell me why.
Oh, I love too when they get like you see just their faces both in the clouds.
Oh, I missed that.
So good.
Oh yeah.
It's just so good.
Well,
I love it.
we won't talk about it till the end, but one of my favorite things in film history is in this, and it's fucking hilarious. Which is we'll talk about it after we see it. All right. Is there anything else that we need to cover? Let's see if this won an Oscar, and then we can go watch it. Do you remember when they did like the live version a few years ago with Vanessa Hudgens?
Yeah. Was
it good?
I heard it was not good. I don't love watching the live versions of these.
Hold on. Holy shit.
There was a lot of drama.
Guys, wait, there was? With Hudge?
I think with just in general, it didn't go well.
Wow. Interesting.
Didn't watch it.
Okay.
And I should love all of them, but I don't.
This is big news.
Let's hear the big news.
What is our podcast wouldn't be possible without the wonderful people at HBO for making television. On October 15th, 2019, it was announced that musical television series based on Grease titled Grease, Rydell High was given a straight-to-series order by HBO Max.
What?
In 2020, the series title changed from Grease. It was changed to Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies.
Oh.
So it's not going to be on HBO Max. It's going to be on Paramount Plus. Filming began January 2022. The series cast was announced. So let's see who's in this. It's a Grease prequel.
Of the Pink Lady?
Listen, I'm glad this is a Patreon. Let's just get this out of the way. It's going to suck, and we're out of ideas.
I know. Well, because also if it's a prequel, nobody wants to watch something without Sandy. She's part of it.
It's just
she won't be there.
Yeah, it's just wild, like why people think that people will give a fuck about this, but maybe it'll be good.
But people have to watch, people do watch those.
Okay.
Right?
Do you think? Yeah, you think there's a hunger for Grease prequel series?
I don't think there's a hunger for it, but I think people will watch it.
Okay, I hope. I really do hope. Annabelle and Athelia, I'll read who they have managed to brilliantly capture the spirit of the beloved classic film, which, like Rise of the Pink Ladies, is both set in the past but relevant to the present.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's, holy shit.
Are you about to change your tune and watch it?
Okay. I mean, if it looks like it's the creator of Transparent who is making it.
Oh.
And that show was very good.
Maybe it's actually like a real look into what it's like to have to like hide your true self in high school.
Okay. Annabelle Oakes inks overall deal with Paramount TV. Creator of great. Okay, listen, maybe this will be good.
You're changing your tune?
I'm changing my tune because she's done some other really great stuff. Transparent's incredible.
It is very
I mean, it did get like it kind of ended shitty, but whatever. That wasn't their fault. Okay, listen. So we're relevant. We're staying relevant.
All right.
This is
great.
So we're going to find out. We're just going to see what they're up to now, but later this year, we'll be able to see the origin story of all these pink ladies.
The pink ladies.
Not just a great gang at Rydell High, also one of the top 3 apples.
Yes, it's true.
Sit along with Honeycrisp and Jazz.
Oh, Honeycrisp.
Yeah.
The best.
All right. Well, the pink ladies are going to go watch.
Let's do it.
Bye.
Bye.
Grease, directed by Randall Kleiser. Experience the friendships, romances, and adventures of a group of high school kids in the 1950s. Welcome to the singing and dancing world of Grease, the most successful movie musical of all time. A wholesome exchange student, played by Olivia Newton-John, and a leather-clad Danny, played by John Travolta, have a summer romance. But will it cross click lines? And now, back to the pink ladies.
And we're back. This is for all you listeners. The pink ladies are back in business. We just finished a little film we like to call Grease.
Oh. Gosh, I loved it.
It's a well-crafted
ride.
A
wild school year of a ride.
Well, okay, we'll go back to the beginning, but one of the things that I think people may not remember about it, it's over a whole school year. So really the last little bit, you get that nostalgia of like...
I think we were both feeling it.
I was.
Yeah, I know. But you were like, this is a little melancholy because really you don't all stay together.
Yeah, I don't know if
dip, do up.
To doobie do. Well, the writers and the director must know that. And he even says it. They're like, we might not see each other again. He's like, well, of course we might not ever be together again. And he's like, and then they're all singing, we'll always be together. And it's like, no, you're not.
No.
So there is like, I'm not trying to overlay depth into this movie, but there is something to that. And then we'll go back through the beginning. I remember I listened to an interview and like Seth Rogen in Superbad, the whole thing was like a movie about like getting beer and like trying to have sex.
Right.
And like that was the whole movie. And then when Judd Apatow read it, he was like, this story can't just be a bunch of jokes. And he's like, what the story is like these two people's friendship, and they get in like a big fight and then they come together again. And when they're at the mall at the end, they're going to different colleges.
Right.
And he says, he's like, that's what the story is. It's about like two people that, and I remember hearing that and being like, oh, that's interesting. Even in a movie that's like dick jokes and this and that, if you don't care. And there is something to this that I was like, oh, it is. You really do kind of fall in love with their friendship.
You do. I mean, especially when they're like all out there together at Thunder Road and then just like dancing together. I know.
They've had a wild ride, wild senior year.
I know. Can Nikki ask Danny to be a second? Good thing he was there.
Oh my gosh.
Just so much happened in the second half.
There's a lot there. I'm telling you what, the movie holds up. Grab a cigarette, grab a Lucky Strike.
Smoke inside.
Throw on grease.
Wear your tightest leather pants.
Throw on, put the cigarette pack in your bicep
sleeve,
and then roll it up. Okay, so we're back at Rydell High and everybody is nervous because what is coming up? The big dance.
The big dance.
And this is going to be a nationally televised dance-off because there's going to be TV cameras there. I don't know. They don't really explain why. It's just like what they're going to do. Probably because there's a lot of talented dancers at the school.
Yeah. I mean, weird. What was that?
Are you okay? Who is it? Is that Joe?
It must be.
Okay.
I mean, I hope so.
Is it John?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's Joe.
Okay.
All right. Well.
Okay. All right. We're going to leave this in.
There you go.
We were just listen. If it was just the three boys, but it's the pink lady, so we feel a little danger.
We just feel like a little exposed.
Yeah.
Now everyone's wondering. They're like, "Who is Joe?"
Well, the last time we potted, it was it was the night before Hurricane Ian started, and I was just like, "We'll see, we didn't evacuate." And then after the fact, people are gonna listen to it when it comes out and be like, "Geez, are you okay, dude?" Yeah. And then in this one, it's just like all our patrons right now are wondering,
like,
we get murdered?
Is Kevin okay?
Yeah. Will Kevin and Katie get murdered as they talk about Grease?
In their own home. Well,
yeah.
Katie's own home.
Yeah, well,
no, you're here a lot. You knew where the pot equipment was.
Yeah, I know where the pot equipment is. Okay, so they have the big dance-off. And at the big dance-off, they're going to be like competing, and then they get tapped out, and then whoever wins like a big prize. So Marty is there. Marty and Vince Fontaine, and he is like a famous like American Bandstand type person. He straight up starts flirting with Marty, and then later he's like 40 and she's in high school and they're totally flirting. And then later she's like, Vince Fontaine tried to put an aspirin in my drink.
I know. And we were both like, do you think anyone saw that in the theater and was like, oh,
yeah.
They just were like, oh, that guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the point is that she is creeped out by him.
Sure.
But
like,
still, I'm like, geez.
Not enough.
Do they just not say roofie? Like, what's an aspirin going to do? Does that make you tired?
Well, I don't know. That doesn't seem strong enough.
At least throw a Benadryl in there. Come on.
That's why it's not working out for you, bud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're at the dance-off. Everyone at this school is ripping up.
I mean, they are good.
They're truly born to hand jive.
Born to hand jive.
Born to hand jive,
all their
baby.
Dresses, there's a lot of skirt flipping.
Dude.
A lot of vulgar movements.
Yeah, and if they do a vulgar movement, they get tapped out, and so they can't do any vulgar movements.
I do feel like some vulgar movements happened.
But then they do, and then they cut to the teacher. The teacher's like, these damn kids.
These dancers.
Yeah, they will just not, they're simulating lots of sex.
But that's what makes it so good.
So
They're
good.
pushing the boundaries.
So Kaneki and Rizzo are broken up. So Rizzo comes with crater face. And
so old.
Who looks like he's 52.
Oh my gosh.
He looks so old. Everyone in this movie looks old. This guy looks so old. Like
him and Cha-Cha. I mean, she's gorgeous, but not in high school.
Yeah, not in high school. Cha-Cha de Gregorio is coming across town to this dance, and she has got the fucking moves.
I mean, she's a great dancer. She came there to win. Which I was thinking, isn't quite fair. She doesn't even go to that school.
Yeah.
She doesn't even go here. What's that from?
Mean Girls?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Listen, you're so fetch. We got to watch Mean Girls on this.
Oh, so good.
Okay, so they're dancing the whole time. Once they show all the different people dancing, then all of a sudden, like a little like Western flavor music comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Then fucking Johnny T and Olivia just come in with the lasso move.
Lasso move. It's
and
classic.
I'm not exaggerating. People should go back and watch Saturday Night Fever. It is pretty weird. They drop like a hard N-bomb in the first like 5 minutes of the movie.
You're right.
It's so you're just like, whoa. Oh. And there's like some rapey vibes in that movie. There's the story-wise, it doesn't hold up as much as Grease.
No.
But the dance scenes, like John Travolta is
so good.
So talented
at
looking masculine and cool
Yes.
and dancing and feeling comfortable in his body. Like he just, you can tell why he was like a phenom at the time, because it's like, he just looks cool.
He just has that certain something when he's dancing. Like I feel like when you see someone like that, they're doing the choreography, but they're like adding their own special something to it. And I love when you just kind of see that, because you can't learn that.
Yeah.
It's just inherently like in you.
Well, that's exactly what he does. Like, he doesn't look like he's thinking about the choreography. He's just like looking around and being himself.
Right. He looks like he's just dancing.
Yeah.
And being like, ooh, I'll throw this in.
Yeah.
How about this? I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And you're so pumped for Danny and Sandy. They finally worked out their stuff.
I know. They got it together. And then
the fucking T-Birds come in.
I know. I really want to know, why did they do that? Because one of the T-Birds helped out. He like grabbed Sandy and like danced her back.
You know, it's kind of an immature thing that people do. I mean, people even do it as adults. It's like, you would think that if some girl's into me at a bar or something like that, on one hand, people would be respectful. On another, it's like, Harlan would do something to fuck it up. You know what I mean? Just be like, you know what I mean? Just like, it's like, what, you rib them a little, you know?
But this is on national television.
That's true.
And they've really had a hard time getting here.
It's true. Yes, I totally agree with you.
But I don't know if Harlan would do that on national television.
He wouldn't. Listen.
He would be the one dancing. No offense.
He would. And I would be the one
grabbing the girl
and fucking it up. Yeah. So then all of a sudden, Danny and Cha-Cha are dancing together. And on one hand, it's not good for the relationship. On the other, they got such a great vibe.
I know. I mean, you're really torn. And I will say, both of us during that whole number, we both just had the biggest smiles on our face.
Big smiles.
Just all of our musical theater degrees. Just really coming out.
It made, and we'll talk more about it, but it really did make me very nostalgic for like a school dance.
I know.
But I will say, the only reason why this doesn't make me totally melancholy and sad is like, you get that at a wedding. The same vibe, like at a good wedding.
It's even more fun at a wedding.
Yeah. It's more fun at a wedding because really nowhere else there's like dancing where people are just being themselves and just having fun dancing.
Oh, tell me about your school dances.
Well, first of all, grinding got outlawed.
Oh, grinding. I have not thought about that word in so long.
And
but yes, that's exactly what it was called.
It was called grinding. And basically what it was, when you had to explain it to a parent, it was just like, so you go up behind and you just rub your dick all over a girl's ass. And
it's quite different from the hand jive.
Way different than the hand
grab. Do the hand jive. That looks way more fun.
And it makes total sense that teachers were just like,
stop.
What?
Are you
It was just our way to just like rub and it was
grinding. I have not heard that word.
Yeah.
Thought about that word since like the 8th grade.
I forget when Country Grammar was out, but it was like, I mean, Eminem was out when we were grinding. Forgot about Dre was like.
You know, at my 8th grade dance, or I think our Valentine's Day dance, we had a little band called Nappy Roots.
Okay.
Played at our dance.
Very cool.
Like, how did that happen?
I don't know.
This was before they were popular. Obviously, I was in a small town in Kentucky.
Born to grind, baby. Born to grind.
Like, just think about if they were all just like out there grinding. Like, that wouldn't be a good scene. Nobody really wants to see that. The only people that enjoy grinding are the people that are grinding.
I loved grinding. And when it got outlawed,
Were you mad?
I liked slow dancing. I mean, I remember the terror of like asking a girl because we didn't go to dance. We had things called Dance Pluses.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? And this was in middle school.
What's a dance? I don't think we ever had a Dance Plus.
Dance Plus was, because not everyone likes to dance.
Mm-hmm.
So you could go to the cafeteria and they had set up a bunch of TVs and Nintendo 64s, and you could play video games. And then they just had mountains. Do you remember that picture of Trump when like the national, like whoever won the national college football championship, he just had all the McDonald's everywhere. And it was
just that.
It was just that.
But I kind of like that they had that option for people.
They just had a bunch of Taco Bell tacos and hamburgers out, and you could play video games. Obviously, we never did that because I was dating Sarah Van Druten. We were going out.
Grinding.
I don't know.
Trying to
grind. Definitely.
Trying to grind.
And honestly, this is on the Patreon. I would totally grind with her now. She's one of the girls that's still hot.
Oh, great.
I'm just kidding.
I'm so happy to hear that.
No. She's very nice. She's cute. She was like, I wrote I love Sarah on my hand one time.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't come off. And I got made fun of by my football coaches.
Oh, that's sweet.
But yeah,
I like that.
She was 6th grade. And that was when it wasn't high school. Because I think by high school, you weren't grinding in a way that was like you had enough sense that you could maybe dance in an edgy way that wasn't, but
You're
in middle
so
school,
right.
there's a thing that was just like,
well, right. And we're exactly the same age.
Yeah.
And you're so right. I don't think I was like grinding in high school.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in high school, then I was like really starting to dance and like have fun doing it. But you're so right. I can just be back in that gym in 8th grade, grinding with Tim Somerville. And then I remember he grinded with someone else. And I was
That's fucked up.
Mad.
That is fucked up.
Oh, Tim Somerville. If you're a listener, I doubt he is, but you never know.
This is a patron. If he's a patron, that'd be awesome. I've been waiting for
to be called out by Katie.
I mean, one thing that I'm honestly, sometimes I'm trying to purposefully be like graphic as a joke on here, but I'm like, did you have like a little boner as you're grinding? I had to have.
Certainly. I remember not really knowing, like actively talking about grinding with some of my friends and being like, I'm not really sure like what to do during it. See, I did better. I feel like once I got to the high school days where maybe I was just trying to do the hand jive. Yeah. I was like, oh, I know how to dance. I can do a choreography. Let's go. I mean, it's kind of still not any different than, and then the guy the whole time is like, this is awesome for both of us. Right. And the girl's like, I'm not sure what to do.
What? I just stand here while like a penis just rubs on my butt.
This isn't very fun.
I mean, it's honestly, it's so funny because back then, just asking people to a dance, people like all had sex after in movies at prom, but I wasn't even in a position. I remember like no. I didn't have sex until 12 years after prom.
On prom night though, and also years later.
On prom night, yeah. So my junior year, I was dating a girl. Wait, was it junior? Who did I go to senior prom with? Senior prom with Carrie. My junior year, somehow I didn't have a prom date, so I just went with my friend Sean, and we took pictures together. Oh, that's made a big thing, and we like have handshake pictures, and it was like such a fun bit because it was like we're going like as two guys, and we're comfortable with that, and it's fun, and then everyone, since it was like we're adults, we're not just grinding anymore. Everyone like would dance with their dates in the slow dance.
Right. So you're like,
and every slow dance, it was like, this is so dumb. Why did we do this? And then it'd be back to dancing. We'd have fun.
Right. Then you'd like leave.
Yeah. Side. It was so funny. I'm still friends with them. I was actually texting them today for the first time in a while, but we're still
like, I talked about you on the pod.
Still friends.
I love that.
And then one of my other dance dates, my sister told me, my sister was friends with her, and she thought it was so weird, even just a few years ago. She was like, she thought it was so weird that I didn't want her to give me a blowjob because like I wanted to be like modest and not do that.
Wait,
and
your sister thought that was
She was friends with my sister.
Oh, okay.
Years later, her and my sister like reconnected, and she's like, remember when I dated your brother for like 6 months?
Gotcha.
And she was like, it was really weird. Like your brother like wouldn't let me give him a blowjob. My sister's like, I don't want to know any of this stuff.
That's a really weird thing to tell a sister.
I know. And it's like she's still thinking about that like years later.
Like, oh, you really?
I know.
Still thinking
I was
about
like, that's so
she's talking about it on her podcast.
On her podcast, I know.
Oh my gosh.
But man, school dances were fucking awesome.
I had the most fun. I went to every single one. But I loved, we would also always have MORP, which was prom backwards, which was always like a theme.
Oh, after?
Well, no. This was like a fundraiser for prom.
Okay.
But then everybody could go to MORP because prom was only for like junior and
Yeah.
Oh, it was so fun because it always had a theme, and I just like loved a costume party. I still really do. There's not enough opportunities as an adult to go to costume parties.
Yeah.
You know? But I loved school dances.
I love school dances, and I remember I'm actually, once I have to do choreography, and I haven't for a long time, like I'm like very like left foot, right? Like I'm bad. And I get mixed up. That's what's so impressive about like John Travolta in this, that you're like, all that, even getting it is one thing and then not looking like you're trying.
Right.
But if I'm not doing choreography, I can dance and have fun and like let loose in a way that is so fun. And I remember just doing that. Like those are one of the times in high school that you're like, you find your little crew, because you get to be a pretend adult at these dances.
Right.
That's what it is. You get to pretend like you're on a date, you get $50 to go to dinner, and like we would do the corsage. It all is just like this pretend adult thing, and it was so fun.
Oh, so fun. You're so right. I haven't thought about a school dance in so long. But I also really, and I know it's different for boys, but part of the fun too was just getting ready. Like all the girls would come over and we would all get ready together in the bathroom. Like I miss that too. Like those days, you just don't really ever have that again.
Yeah.
And like that, I have so many pictures of like me and my friends just in my bathroom, just all of us doing each other's hair.
Yeah.
Those were just really special.
Yeah.
Special days.
One thing that I'm sure there's some people that have horrible experiences with that, or if you don't have good friends, or if you don't, I remember things like that. That is actually one of the cool things about being an adult, is like those times I just had the ability with the friends that I was with. Cause like I got picked on in middle school, and then in high school, like I was kind of like in a bunch of different groups.
Right.
But I remember always having the ability to like be myself in places like that and be like, I'm going to go like sing loud. I'm going to like dance. I'm going to like ask girls to dance with me and have fun. And like, I don't know. I have a joke that I did on stage that was about how like wedding dancing is the most fun because like no one's trying to have sex with each other.
But I think that's maybe
And I think it's true. Like I remember in even those high school dances, it was so much about like, this is such a fun time. Like you get to borrow your parents' nicer car and go out and do this and then dance and stay out late. And I would get back from a dance and it's like the only time you're like out with everyone you know until 1 a.m. or whatever.
Like going to dinner and all that. You're so right. It's just playing at being an adult.
Yeah.
In like this super safe, fun way. That kind of stuff is so important. Thanks for getting me thinking about school dances. Now, did you guys always take pictures? Like the professional ones?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have so many of those somewhere. Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're in New York. I don't think I packed them when I moved here.
You got to pack them.
They're back in Kentucky. Now I want to see them.
Well, okay. So let me cruise through the rest of the plot and then we can keep going. That's stuff that we would have gone back to anyway. So, and I think that's one of the stronger points of the movie, that it follows, just like Harry Potter, it follows like a school year that makes you way more made me way more nostalgic than I thought I'd be. So the dance happens. Cha-Cha Di Gregorio and Danny win. They crush it. And then, but of course he hurt Sandy. So I don't know how they make up, but basically Rizzo finds out she's pregnant. And then also Danny gets back with Sandy to go on a date, and they're just hanging out at the drive-in,
He's just like knocking her in the boob.
Yeah.
And then trying to touch her boob.
He's just figuring out how to touch a boob.
Yeah. He just wants to touch a boob.
Just wants to touch a boob, which honestly, 100% I get it. That plot point, I was like, I'm right there with you. The stakes have not been higher in a movie.
Oh my God.
There's no movie I've seen where I'm more connected to the stakes of just being like, yeah, dude. So then he tries to touch her boob and she's like, because he gives her the ring. He's like, now I know you respect me. And he doesn't. Okay. Then she runs off, and then he sings "Stranded at the Drive-In," which is the first weak part of the movie.
We chose that time to like have a conversation.
Yeah, and you're
about
just
something else.
The song's not that good, and it's not even that dynamic. Like, I guess they kind of show they use like the movie light as kind of like
there's a hot dog jumping in a bun at the end behind him.
It's part of the movie that you're just like, I gotta run to the bathroom if you're in the theater.
Yeah.
And then after that, what happens after that? I don't have my phone.
So after that, they're working on the car, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, Rizzo first. Sorry. Rizzo is, they're working on the car. They find out they're going to go do at Thunder Road.
Do the race.
Going to race Crater Face. And Kenickie asks John Travolta to be his second. It's actually great because there have been times that I've like told my guy friends like I love them. I'm pretty comfortable with that, but even still, you're just like I'll text Cory sometimes and just be like, "Love you, bro," and I couldn't just put "love you." I have to be like, you have to add the bro.
"Love you, bro."
Well, I feel like they added the bro by immediately combing their hair.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, yeah, like kind of strutting around.
Yeah, because it's just Kenickie basically being like, "You're my best friend, and I want you to be there when I race."
Yeah.
he's like, what are you saying? He's like, I don't know. I just think, you should.
Just to bring up a movie reference. It's a little complicated.
Oh yeah. He's like, remember at the movie last night when like the lieutenant is, but I wonder if you could be there for me. He's like, be my second.
It's pretty emotional.
And then they hug real quick. And then that's when they pull out the things.
Pull out their comb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so then Rizzo is dealing with like the fallout of everybody knowing that she's pregnant.
Yes.
Everyone's whispering about her.
Everyone's gossiping about her.
She sings "There Are Worse Things I Could Do," which I think is one of the best. I don't think she does it the best, but I think that's one of like the best songs.
Yes.
For me.
Because the whole thing is her being like, there are worse things I can do than be pregnant.
I think then just like
Than
live
who
her
she
life.
is?
Like
Yeah,
who
yeah.
she is. Like it's saying like, I am who I am.
Yeah.
I did this thing. I'm a person that has sex.
Yeah.
'Cause again, I think it goes back to, I don't know if a lot of other people were even having sex. Like
Yeah.
everyone was talking a big game, but like maybe she and Kenickie were the only ones.
Yeah.
And maybe it was their first time because that condom, I don't know.
Yeah. Also, in the stage version, it's very explicit that she is trying to get an abortion.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And they don't get into it as much in this, but in the stage version, it's like very explicit, and it's based on a play. So I'm sure in the play version, it's like even more explicit.
Oh, see, I don't know the like history of.
Yeah, I think.
I need to do some reading tonight.
Yes. I think it was called Greasers, and it was like just a comedy about like high school,
Interesting.
But yeah, so in the stage version, she's like contemplating or figuring out like how she could get an abortion, which is, high stakes.
Which is very high stakes. Now, does Kenickie, because there's that interesting scene, which I said to Kevin, I think when I watched this before, I didn't quite like grasp that he did that. Like Kenickie comes over and is like, "Oh, I heard you're pregnant." And she's like, "Don't worry, it's not yours." And he's like, "Oh, thanks, kid." And like smiles, his face lights up. And it's just like, ooh.
He's like, "See ya."
It's
like,
such a rough scene.
Yeah.
It clearly is his. And and even if it wasn't, like, is that the way you would act to someone that you have had a relationship with? And
that's one of the other reasons that like the characters, as goofy as the movie is, the characters are fully formed and mysterious in a way that you're just like, Rizzo's like, she's a person that probably has either like, I could imagine Rizzo's parents like screaming and yelling when she gets home,
right.
Or like she just has the mom and the mom is not around or something. Like she's clearly, you never find out what her deal is, but she's clearly protecting herself from something.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, that's because she's like, she knows it's his. And she says to him, he's like, I don't know. She says to him, like, "It's not yours. Don't worry about it." That's just her way of like protecting herself.
Right. Right. Totally. That's just a really interesting little scene.
Yeah.
That I just glossed over.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. It's really good.
So,
Kenickie, fucking loser.
Kenickie.
So then they're fucking racing. They're racing for pinks against Crater Face and Cha Cha Di Gregorio, who doesn't really even give Danny the time of day.
I know, after they won the contest.
It's like, come
together.
on, she should at least like flirt a little bit. And then the Crater Face is like, whose side do you want? So Marty fucks things up because she finds a penny for good luck. She drops it so Kinnicky will pick it up. And then they open the car door, hits Kinnicky in the head. He can't race. What has to happen?
Danny, the second.
The second's got to be there. He races.
He does great. There's a slow-mo of the car flying over the water.
It is the most boring car race I've ever seen in cinema.
I needed some dancing.
The cars are so big and slow, and they just show them being big and slow, and then just like it is
like a little metal thing scraping the other one. It goes on far too long.
Yeah, it's like a metal thing that looks like it's from like Looney Tunes.
Right.
And then it's supposed to like attack the other car, but it just ruins the body. It's like it is truly hilarious how boring it is compared to the other parts of the movie, but it's fun in its own way. Danny wins. They all celebrate. Now Sandy is off in the distance watching.
She's having a little bit of a reckoning.
Yeah, and she's just like, look at all of them. They're all friends. They're all together. And I've figured out like I need to change what I've been up to.
Yeah, she knows how to do it.
She's like, I'm Sandra. I'm this like pure Sandra D, and it's like this part of me is over.
Yeah.
And she's singing "Look at Me, I'm Sandra D," which is a good callback.
It's a great callback. I always love that in a musical.
Look at me, it has to be
something more than what they see.
So there's got to be something more. She has to dig deep into who she truly is.
Is this who she truly is?
And then they go on the announcements. It's the end of the school year. They say maybe they're going to be Eisenhower. Maybe you're going to be the next
Joe DiMaggio. Which I feel like you would know.
Yeah,
if you were on that track
at this point, what we would know. And it came out in 1978, but they say then Vice President Nixon, so they're making like a probably pretty smart Nixon joke at that time.
Right.
And then they go to the ending scene. They're at the carnival. They've all finished school. Danny's wearing the Letterman's jacket because he started doing track. I guess that connects to the sporting thing.
Well, yeah, he lettered in track. I think it's to show that he's trying to, join Sandy in her world, which is a jock world, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, look at that guy's body. He's a born athlete. Of course, you should be doing that.
Yeah.
And he rips a cig after he wins the 200.
He definitely didn't cut it down to 2 packs a day.
Yeah, he did not. Then Sandy comes out, and Sandy has dug down deep into who she wants to be.
And she's found it.
And she's like, I'm a whore.
Kevin.
I want to be a slut that smokes cigarettes.
I want to be someone that can't sit down in their own pants.
Yes. She sits down, they rip.
And if you sweat at all, it's just not going to work.
It's once the movie's done, you can analyze it, but being in the theater, it must have been such a shock, and you'd get lost in it. And then after you'd be like, the message is hilarious.
Right. But in the moment, it starts with those red shoes. Comes up, the big hair, the off the shoulder. I mean, she looks great, but you're so right. Kevin, we were watching, he said, this is great because you really don't have any idea what she's going to do.
Yeah.
Just from what she says, like, I know how to make a difference. Like, I know how to make it work. And that's what it is.
And
it's a big surprise.
Big surprise.
He rips off that Letterman jacket.
He's like, I get to be Danny the T-Bird.
I'm a T-Bird. Look at my lady.
We're both all in black.
We look great together.
Look great.
Let's go through a fun house.
We're dancing through a fun house. We're both singing. What's the song? Dun, dun, dun. I got chills.
You're the one that I want.
You're the one that I want.
What I want.
They're together. Now, once the movie's done, they're going to have to figure out what that means.
I mean,
emotionally for their relationship.
I had that moment with several of the characters where I was like, what happens in 6 months? I'm concerned for a lot of them personally.
Well, here's where we get to, I think, truly the best part of the movie. Not the best part of the movie, but I think we said it earlier, but it's like this is the end of their childhood. Like,
right.
These people aren't going to be friends altogether.
But honestly, in a way they might, because they might all stay in their town.
They're going to have a banger of a reunion.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And like, but it's never going to be the same.
But it's never going to be the same. 100%.
It's never going to be the same. Some of them are going to go this and that. And it does that like school thing way better than I remember.
I know. And you're so right. You do really feel that nostalgia of like, just knowing that things are about to change, but being like, we'll always have each other.
Yeah. I mean, the song is like so intensely about that. We'll always be together. And then I guess like you're wanting that because what's kind of interesting about the movie is like, no, there really isn't a single time where they're all just having fun together. There's always
some sort of like conflict.
Yeah. But that's kind of what friendship, high school friend,
yes.
And even just, I was with my family and I was like, of course we're going to get in one fight. We got in one fight during the week, but I'm like, I don't know if there's any way we can do zero fights.
Human.
Yeah.
That's how everybody works.
Yeah. And so I think like there is something like every single scene, even when Danny and Sandy like are finally on their date, then Kaneki and them break up. Like it is pretty good at like always having a scene and then something happens, always being like, and then it's, I'm pregnant. Am I in love? Am I not? What's my career going to be with life?
Right.
What is like the guys, even like the side characters, they're kind of like friends with the teacher.
Right. Well, we felt good about that. They maybe had some like automotive skills.
Katie and I were we were worried about the prospects of these young bucks.
I was like, what are they going to do when they get out of high school? And they came out with that car and we were like, oh, well, you know what? They know how to fix cars.
That is good. They have an applicable skill. That's good. They haven't graduated, but they're going to be just fine. They open up their own shop.
They're going to be great.
But they kind of pick each different thing and they kind of have all the little worries that you have in life of like growing up. Like it's a better coming of age kind of movie than you would think.
It is truly a coming of age movie. You're so right. And I don't think I would have really thought that before watching it now in my 30s. And I feel like I could like step back from it and just, man, I'm a Grease fan.
I'm a greaser.
I'm a greaser.
I'm a total greaser.
I mean, you've been a greaser for a long time.
Hey, you know, I haven't always been this way, you know? Okay, wait. So wait, and then what's so if you can only take two songs?
Oof. Okay.
There's a lot of bangers in this.
I mean, like, is it just to listen to or do I get to watch the scene?
Yeah, you get to watch the scene.
Hand jive. Number one.
Hand jive. So good.
I mean, we were both just like talking about how fun all that choreography is, the different camera shots, just all the different vignettes that they set up. So good. And that like how it works so much better on film than on stage.
One complaint.
What's the complaint?
Not enough grinding.
Oh. I think they did their own version of grinding. I think Rizzo and Craterface were grinding. Also, she wasn't doing like great dancing. Like I think she was just kind of like throwing her arm around.
Rizzo?
Yeah.
She's just being cool.
And I was like, okay, we got better dancers.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Rizzo.
Get out of here.
No offense.
Bring in Cha-Cha.
I really like you, but let's get Cha-Cha.
Yeah.
I would say that Summer Lovin'. It's just so fun. Like everybody just running around with their lunch trays. It's just good.
I mean, that's the one that you hear at karaoke.
And can you even like hear those like doom, doom, doom?
Yeah.
You would know that in a heartbeat.
Dun, dun,
I mean, John wouldn't, but
he would.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. It's like
would Cory know it?
What's crazy? It's 12 years after Sound of Music. We said this, I think in the first episode we did, but it's like the music is not necessarily musical music. it's kind of within the world of like 50s-ish music.
Totally.
And I think that's like when you listen to, I like lots of musicals and lots of them I have a love-hate relationship with. But one thing I don't love is how now there's like a genre of music that just sounds like no other type of music. It's just musical music.
Sure.
So like Dear Evan Hansen just sounds like cheesy musical music, even though, you know.
Yeah, that's not my favorite.
And I love musicals that the music kind of just fits in with the world, so you're not distracted by it. And this kind of has the benefit of, because even at the dance, they sing Hound Dog, like they're singing like Elvis, and then they just go, or I forget who, I just watched the Elvis movie. I forget who originally did Hound Dog, but whatever.
You're so right, though, about how all the music does fit into the style of the time period.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really would have thought that. That's really smart.
Yeah. So they can just go in and out of it, and it doesn't necessarily feel like
they've started a musical number.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah. And I think that holds it together in a way that is pretty interesting, that you can just go along with it without it feeling like a musical, even though it is the most musical a musical could be.
I mean, yeah, they fly off into the sunset in a car.
Which is so funny.
I wonder why they were like, let's have the car lift off, and have her be like, oh, it's lifting off.
Yeah, they fly off. It doesn't necessarily make sense.
Isn't there some weird, like, I may be totally making this up, but I swear there's like some weird conspiracy theory that like they're flying off into heaven or something. I swear that's a thing.
Oh, I think I did hear about this.
That like somehow they've died. I don't know. Now
they died.
Read about it.
They did die. It's them in the future, right after they're done getting lung cancer.
Right.
Listen, I can't believe it was 40 minutes. This was a great episode.
I had the best time watching Grease.
It was so good. I feel like, honestly, I feel like this is one of the movies that maybe it's like, I've seen it. Find a fun time to go back and watch it. It's a good time.
I highly recommend it because I was excited to watch Grease, mainly because I love talking about musicals with you, but I loved it.
And here's the last thing that made it very nostalgic. The credits are a yearbook.
I know. That was I feel like we both kind of paused and like, wanted to keep watching, but we were like, oh, we gotta, it's late, we gotta go.
The credits were a yearbook, and it was kind of just like, damn.
It is. And maybe you have to get far enough away from high school to really have that full nostalgia. I just wanted to like live in that world a little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great.
Listen, to everyone out there, to Ashley Goins, who I went to freshman homecoming with, I want to shout you out.
Tim Somerville, thanks for all the grinding. I mean, I didn't really enjoy it, but
dude, what if John hears this and gets so pissed? He's like, what the fuck?
No, he's met one time. Tim Somerville was in town, and they met.
That's awesome. You grind on my fucking wife? And then I went with Carly Hersofsky. And then who else with homecoming? Emily Oravec.
Now I'm trying to think of all the names of my dates.
And then Sean Spitzer. Carrie Ringer was senior prom.
Nice.
Man, it was awesome. So many great people.
So many fun people.
So many great slow dances to Tony Braxton, Unbreak My Heart.
Yes.
Say You Love Me Again.
Oh.
And you know what was the biggest song?
What?
I mean, one of the greatest ballads of all time in the peak of our dancing time was Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. I
mean, I still hear that. Yep. And I'm just like, oh, when are we going to watch Titanic?
It's going to be before November 21st.
Oh, we better get that on the schedule. It's going to take a long time.
Good. I think we got to do more than I think we got to do like.
There's a lot to unpack.
I know.
Yes, it has to be over.
I think we're gonna make.
I'm joining for that one.
Yeah, and I feel like we should go in the history. We'll figure out a way to make Titanic big time.
Should we all wear Heart of the Ocean necklaces?
Absolutely,
and be on couches.
Yes, and lay on. We'll all paint each other naked. Listen,
it's gonna be great.
Listen, I know. Thank you, patrons. I know that I hope you enjoyed this special episode. When Katie and I had the idea to do it, we were super excited. And we really hope this episode is for you, but most importantly, it is also for Cory Cavan.
It's for Cory.
I hope Cory can listen to both of these eps and just enjoy them.
I think he can.
I think he will.
And I think he's going to go watch Grease.
I think we should do a follow-up that's just, we should do a follow-up with Cory to be like, listen to the 2 pods, watch it, and then just get his Grease response.
Okay, I'm in. Man, Cory doesn't even know the journey he has ahead of him.
Yeah.
Oh, Cory.
I think this is for you, Cory.
This is for you, Cory.
We love you.
We love
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you.
Later, taters.
Bye.
The Bradshaw Boys stars Cory Cavan, Kevin James Doyle, and Jon Sieber. The show is produced by me, Jeremy Balon, and narrated by Katie Sieber. This podcast is part of the Seltzer Kings Network. Check out all their great podcasts at seltzerkings.com. You can find the boys on their socials at The Bradshaw Boys or on their website at bradshawboys.com. And as always, if you see them in the street, tip your glass. Thanks for listening.